Alright, well we're back at it this morning, day 2, or day 3. Yeah, I guess I formed this up Sunday, it's Tuesday, it rained all day yesterday. Went through, pulled my braces off obviously, checked the level, and actually just realized now, somehow, there's a massive hole in my form. It must have fell down in the bottom of the hole there, because I had to raise this corner just a little bit. So I'll shore that up with a little bit more dirt. And then my mixer that I was planning on using, that I bought, was so excited about, my father-in-law called me this morning and said he plugged it in and it won't turn. The motor hums, but it won't turn, so it's like the gears are locked up. And the man is not tool inclined, so he he could not get it taken apart and fixed in any timely manner. So I said, to hell with it, we're mixing in a wheelbarrow. I've got a maximum of 30 sacks we got to mix. It'll take a couple minutes per sack to mix it with a rake and a shovel. It's not the end of the world, it's just not great. So without further ado, I'm going to fix that corner and we're going to start mixing. Got a hole in my wheelbarrow too. She's finally rusted me through. Let's hope it lasts the job. What it's worth. Alright. Something like a gallon per sack, maybe? Who knows? Probably should have mixed one sack at a time. Try that with the old shovel and see how she looks. Oh, this wheelbarrow's totally gonna give out. Garden hoe works really nice for this too. What kind of farmer am I? I don't own one readily. Much more water needed. I might go back with a single sack next time. I just feel like this is way too much volume for the wheelbarrow to really handle. Mixed it so I don't see any dry dust. That's my goal here. Bunch of dry. getting better. Thing's getting nice and soupy. Probably just crossed the boundary between too dry and too wet. For some reason, this one pier hole is filled up with water, like groundwater. None of the other ones did, but this one did. But concrete will displace that just fine. Take care of that little issue. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mark my set locations where I'm going to set my J-bolts. Alright, I've been mixing single bags now for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. I feel like I can mix and pour singles faster than I can doubles, even though doubles are doing twice the volume. It's just hard to get a good stir on the double in this wheelbarrow. So, mixing singles, mixing nice and wet, give me a little more work time, and it's going okay. Garden rake does great for getting a good mix. Alright, well, we went into panic mode. Typical. But we got it poured. Somehow I way miscalculated. I thought I had overbought concrete, but I ended up running back to town for 10 more sacks. I think we used 9 of them. And we also filled a whole bunch of this slab with what was left of our stone siding, which is air stone. You can see it all out there. We just started chunking it in. Seemed like a great idea until you go to pour the concrete and it starts to float up because it's an air stone. It's lighter than concrete. So now it's giving us absolute hell. What we're doing is just, we screed everything off. We're gonna let it start to set up and gel up, and then I'll go through and I'll try to press them down with a trowel just a little bit and then float across the top of them. If in the end we see them a little bit, oh well, it's a pump house. But big stupid mistake on my part for miscalculating the concrete, and then secondary stupid mistake when we thought, oh, we'll just throw all these bricks in because they're not real stone, so they float, which is just annoying. We went through, we screed this thing off like 10 times, and every time we'd come through, we'd pull one brick out, work them all down, and more would come back up. So we're just going to stop, call it what it is, and then I'll hand trowel and try to press them down once it starts to set. But that's it for now. Oh, we also went through and we added a 3/4 inch strip to the top of our forms after we threw all those bricks in because we realized we would need the extra space, and again, even that wasn't enough because they floated. So I've got to try to go through here real quick and measure out while it's still setting where my studs are going to go and get those in. Alright, well, the crapshoot continues, but it is what it is. When we were pouring earlier, I went around on the original forms and marked everywhere, measured it all out for where studs had to be, and marked where I wanted to set all my bolts. And then, of course, we put on an extra 3/4 inch and covered all that up, so I couldn't see it. But ultimately, we just left a good wide gap here for there to be a doorway, and everywhere else I made sure. I just measured, I referenced off the back wall, so coming up this wall here, we did 16 on center, so I just made sure none of these are on 16 spaces. Did it on the opposite wall as well. And then on the back wall and the front wall, of course, you have to reference the 3.5 inches in, because we'll do the east and the west wall first, and then we'll stand up this south and the north wall. So there's a 3.5 inch offset for that wall. So I set the first rod at like 7, you know, just somewhere where I knew it was well beyond the studs there. So hopefully this all lines up. If it doesn't, you know, whatever, we're going to stick frame it, so we'll shift a stud right or left if we need to a little bit. So anyway, bolts are in, which of course was also a pain, because everywhere I went to stick a bolt there was a rock under it. So yeah, now we're just letting it gel up and set up, and then I'll float it off like I said. Well, the old wheelbarrow here was already in rough shape, so we didn't do it any favors. Got some new bigger holes that held together for the job. That's about it. So I think I'm due for a new one. This one has been used and abused and neglected for almost 8 years. So I'm not complaining. Faithful wheelbarrow, not a bad deal. What was this? A Trooper. I think it was the Lowe's special. Don't remember, to be honest with you, but it was an affordable one. All right, well, the concrete slab I mentioned already. We pretty well screwed it up by throwing those air stones in there as filler. I just went over it. It's gelled up quite a bit now and starting to set and dry. So I tried to wiggle those back down in the gel and trowel it off, and it was to no avail. So we'll let it dry a bit more, and I'll put a broom finish on it, I guess. Just give it a little bit of rough texture, and then maybe those things won't be as noticeable. But like I said before, stupid mistake, learning mistake. It'll be fine. So we'll get this puppy, will be set up here. A couple more hours, it'll be walkable, and we'll probably see about tearing the forms off of it tomorrow, I guess. No hurry, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll get them off there, and then go about building the rest of the shed. Well, you live and learn. I just went over it with the shop broom to do the broom troweled look, and it actually does mask the bricks in there really well. I don't like that it left it all pebbled. As I would rake across, it would pull up all those little bits and just kind of leave those pebbles on the surface. I think a lot of them probably you'll be able to go over it with like just like the edge of a shovel or something. Once it really hardens, a lot of that will chip off probably, but it doesn't look cool right now. But I like the way that broom finish looks. You know, it's kind of a way to hide all your imperfections, I guess, which is why I did it. But yeah, it's setting up nicely. I'm scared to step on it and test it. But like I said, just broomed it off, and yeah, I don't know. I was hoping to have the kids out here to put their handprints in it, but 2 are napping and the other 2 are at the grandparents' house, so I'm not sure that's going to happen. I better put my own in it just to be safe.